Hello and welcome to a new video in which I want to share with you how AI actually sees you. So there are multiple ways how you can get visible to AI, and in this video I break it all down. Now, if we have never met before, my name is Simone Sauter. I am a PR and AIO strategist. I help established business owners build authority, credibility, and visibility that their ideal clients can actually verify in the AI era. And I do this by getting them into top tier media, onto the best podcasts, and I get them recognized as the experts that AI systems can cite and recommend. I have been featured and published in more than 40 publications. I've spoken on more than 90 podcasts, and I also have my own Google Knowledge panel. So today we want to talk about how AI actually sees you. And there are multiple ways, but the foundational thing that you need to understand is that there are only two ways how you can be seen by AI, right? AI can only reach you through two doors. Door number one is memory. And that means that AI actually knows you by heart. So AI knows you without having to search the internet. And door number two is the live search. This is basically when AI finds you while somebody is searching for something and it scans the web. Okay. So memory is very durable, and it is the highest thing that you can achieve in AI visibility. But it also takes some time because you need to earn it. Because to get inside of Claude's memory, ChatGPT's memory, Perplexity's memory, you need to appear on the web a lot of times over a long period of time. Because those AI systems, those large language models, they are trained on a regular basis, right? They are updated on a regular basis. And when your name comes up over and over and over again, at a certain point, it will include your name and your brand in its memory. Okay. But for that, you really have to be consistent and you need to be all over the web for a very long time. And live search is faster to influence, but it is also a little bit more fragile because you're only visible while your page is ranking and when the user has turned search on, right? So now most users have search on, right? Most users use large language models while they have the internet search function turned on. So that is not something that you need to worry about, but you have to show up on a regular basis as well. So the beauty about it is you start with showing up in door number two, right? So in the live search. And then the more you show up on a constant basis regularly online, the more likely it is that you will be actually included in AI's knowledge, right? And most people pour all their effort into the search door and never think about the memory door, which is actually really backwards, you know? So we start with the live door, and then we move to the memory door. Okay. So the key takeaway from everything that I just said is AI either remembers you or it looks you up. You build both, and you need to stop assuming that there is only one way. Okay. Because most people only know that the live search way and not the memory way. Okay. Now, um, how can you show up? So you can get cited by AI, right? You can get cited. That means that AI gets to your website and uses the content that you have created to answer a question that a person is actually asking in a large language model. And to get cited, your content has to answer specific questions that people are actually asking, right? So this is the big difference between SEO, search engine optimization, and GEO, generative engine optimization, because for search engine optimization, we were creating content specifically based on a keyword, right? So we found a keyword that has a lot of traffic, a lot of volume. Then we took the keyword, we wrote the article, and we tried to add this keyword as often as possible without stuffing it. And then we were hoping it will rank. And then with GEO, generative engine optimization, we write for user intent. So you really need to think very clearly about what is it actually that your ideal client is asking. And then you need to create this content and you publish it on your website. Now, but besides creating content for your website also needs to be AI readable. And for that, you have to add a schema markup on your website. There are multiple schema markups. What is a schema markup? A schema markup is a snippet of code that you need to add to the website because AI reads a website differently than humans do, right? We go to the website and we read the content, and machines, which AI is, does not read the text. They read the code and the data that we add to the website, and with that make it AI readable. And then also big media coverage helps you to achieve this as well, right? So you have your website, which is super important. It's your hub. We will get to this in a moment. Your website is your hub. But if you are being published in a large publication, right? Being published means you write the article for publication and you answer the questions for that your ideal clients are asking there, then the chances are pretty high that AI will actually cite you. And why? Because it is a high authority website and you give the answer to the question that your clients ask. Now, this visibility is real time, so it can appear the week that you publish it, and it can also disappear the moment that something else ranks above you. Okay, but this is also why we have to put out content on a regular basis on your website and also in the media. And what you also need to understand is that you need to treat citations as your fast lever, but not your foundation, right? So being cited is amazing because then, you get this, you create the content, it will be cited, and then you have this little button next to it where people can click on, then they can find your website, and this is how they can discover you, right? But it's not your foundation because they move up and down with search results every single day. Okay, now what do you need to take away from this video is like citations are rented visibility. They are great, but they are still rented and they work fast, but they only last as long as you keep ranking. Okay. Now, the second thing, first you can get cited. The second thing is you can get recommended by AI because AI names you as the expert. Okay. So when someone asks AI for the best expert in your niche, then the large language model answers from a sense of who the web agrees as being credible, right? And you want to be that name. Now, the question is like, how does the web agree who is credible? And that is third-party signals, right? Recommendations are built through third-party signals, and that is basically the things that other people say about you rather than what you say about yourself, right? So if you say, hey, I am great, this is advertising. But if my neighbor says I am great, this is PR, right? That's a stupid example, I know, but if you say that you're amazing, that's advertising. If somebody else says like you're amazing, this is PR. Okay. Now, and so what we have to do is we have to get mentions and links from other websites, from podcast appearances, from media features, from media appearances, from media, like if you're being published, from a Google Knowledge panel, right? And we need to tell AI that the wider web treats us as an authority, that we are authoritative. But because AI cannot read content like humans do, AI needs what we call trust signals. And we need to create these trust signals. And a trust signal always is a third-party trust signal, right? Because again, advertising is not trustworthy because I can say anything about me, but somebody else can say something about me, and then it's more trustworthy. Okay. And then also what we need to understand here is that the more trustworthy the source is, the heavier the trust signals that you send. If you get mentioned or featured in your local newspaper online, then that's great and it's a third-party endorsement. But if you get, for example, featured in Forbes, then you see the difference between your local newspaper and Forbes. Forbes has a higher authority, which is also why the trust signal is then more valuable for AI. And now if you look at the graphic on top, you can see that your website and your schema markup, this is the hub, right? Especially with the schema markup and the consistent naming, so AI can connect every endorsement to your identity. So this is really important, right? So you need a website. I know that there are a lot of people out there who say you don't need a website. And I agree, you don't need a website if you only want to make sales. But if you want to build a personal brand, a business, something that is AI future proof, you need a website, period. And then also what's really important is entity consistency, right? What is entity consistency? It means that you call yourself the same everywhere. Same name, right? So it's everywhere I'm Simone Sauter. My second name is Elizabeth, so it's never Simone Elizabeth Sauter, and then it's Simone Sauter, and then it's Simone S. It's always Simone Sauter, okay? And it's always PR and AIO strategist. It's not PR expert, it's not podcast expert, it's not AI expert, it's PR and AIO strategist. Okay, this is how I call myself. Now, this is what we call entity consistency. You have to have the same name, the same title, the same description of what you do, the same elevator pitch everywhere, so that AI can connect the dots. And a recommendation can come from your large language model's memory and also from live search, right? Which is why both overlap. And we are by investing in podcasts, investing to speak on podcasts, right? By investing to be in the media, by investing in getting a Google Knowledge Panel and getting mentions and backlinks of all kinds of sorts, we automatically invest in both. We invest in live search, but we also invest in being remembered in the memory of AI. So the key takeaway that you have from here is you get recommended when the whole web, not just your own site, agrees that you are the expert. Okay, this is really, really important. Now, the third thing is, right, you can get cited, then you can get recommended, but the third thing is you get remembered when you live inside the model. Okay, so being remembered means that AI knows you from its training data, not from a live search, right? So it can actually talk about you with search turned off, right? Without having to look you up. And this is the strongest position because it does not depend on rankings, on freshness, or whether the user has enabled or disabled search function, right? So it doesn't matter because you live inside the model, your brand, your name. And as I said in the beginning, you earn it really slow because you earn it through consistency. Your name has to show up consistently across the web on multiple pages. You have to have entity consistency. And the most important part to live inside of the memory is you need to have a Google Knowledge Panel, right? And you get this Google Knowledge Panel with all kinds of things, right? So we have to feed the Google Knowledge Graph. We need to look at your Wikidata. We need to have all the backlinks, right? So everything that I teach my clients is interconnected, right? Everything that we build, there is a structure to it, and the structure is there to get you visible in both doors and in AI, right? In live search and in memory. But for memory, the Google Knowledge Panel is very, very important because the Google Knowledge Panel is not only a trust signal, it is basically proof that you have become a recognized entity, which is exactly what gets you into the model, right? And a recognized entity means that Google, the Google Knowledge Graph, and with that, Google understands that you are an authority, and AI heavily relies on the Google Knowledge Graph, okay? So this is what we need to train. And because the models are retrained over time, that the work that you do now, like, to get mentioned, to get quoted, really compounds quietly into being known for future versions. Okay, this is how it works. This is why it is so crucial to invest in your AI visibility now. So the takeaway is that citations fade and recommendations shift, but being baked into the model is visibility that you own. Now, let's talk about where you should show up, right? You should show up where it matters, and I get a lot of questions where you should show up. So the first and most important thing is the Google Knowledge Panel. This is also the highest level that you can reach in AI visibility and in your brand building anyways, right? So the Google Knowledge Panel is really crucial. Then media comes next, right? Media, and then here with media, the bigger and the more known and trustworthy the publication, the better. Then we have podcasts. With podcasts, they you get a backlink as well, but you create long-term natural language content that also can be cited again, right? And the media can also be cited, but then you get the backlinks, right? So this is why media and podcast appearances are so crucial, because you create content that can be cited, you create backlinks so that you can get recommended, and you create your online structure, your online visibility, like the web that you need to build to actually be remembered, right? So to get through door number one, which is the memory, right? So you're stored in the memory. Then there are multiple platforms that you can add to that. And I'm not saying that you should add all of them. My strongest recommendation is to add LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, first of all, the second most cited website out there. So what I do is I publish content on the website and I republish it on LinkedIn, but also we pitch media, we pitch podcasts, and specifically for media, but also for podcasts. The first thing that every editor and journalist will do is they will go and they will check if you're on LinkedIn, and they will check your profile. You don't have to publish content there every single day, but I strongly recommend that you professionally a professional LinkedIn profile that really reflects who you are and what you do. Now, YouTube is another great platform where you can be, because AI can read the content, and you create content as well that can be cited. And obviously, it is one of the biggest search engines out there. So if you're on YouTube, amazing. Then I very, very often get the question about Substack. Substack is a great place to be. And you also, have a lot of functions within Substack that you need, from the schema markup to internal linking to get cited. But still, I always recommend first publish the content on the website, and then republish it on Substack and republish it on LinkedIn or Medium, or all the places that you want. But really build your website, treat your website as your hub, because everything comes together on your website, right? Your credibility, but also if a potential client comes to your website and they see your media appearances, your podcast appearances, they see what you're about, and then they read your blog and they can see that you answer all the questions. You build instant trust. Okay, so this is really my strongest recommendation. Use the website as your hub, and then republish to other platforms. Now, I know a lot of people are on Skool as well. I'm on Skool myself. On Skool, you have the option to set your Skool public. That strongly depends on your niche, of course. But if you set it on public, then AI, large language models, can also read it. Okay, so you can then also go and open it, and if you create great content, then this is readable to AI as well. Now, if you get on no-name blogs and social media, this is not relevant for your AI visibility. It's just not, because everything that we say on social media specifically is basically advertising. It's us saying that we're amazing. It's us talking about our products. It's us talking about what we do, and this is not really what is interesting to AI, and also it's not trustworthy to AI. Okay, so I hope this video helped. The key takeaways, like, do not try to be everywhere. Win the few sources AI actually trusts, and start with a knowledge panel, and let those carry you. Okay, so but to get a knowledge panel, you have to put all the dots together. If you want to learn more, join the AI Visibility Lab. This is where we all meet and come together and learn more about it.